Ladies and gents and the rest, so Arthas is here, and today we're going to be looking at his mechanics and talents. I'm going to tell you right away, this is extremely uh, good hero. You will need him 100%, and you will probably need all three talents. Yeah, but we will take a look at everything. Let's start from the beginning. His mechanics first, right? So number one is Remorseless Winter, like this aura inside of which everything is going to be slowed and it will have a frozen status, which means its attack power and movement speed will be slowed. So his leader ability is Soul Shatter. While deployed, frosted enemies die instantly when taking any damage below 20% health. It does exactly what it says. Molten Giant, 20% health, frosted, dead instantly. And this ability works, it's global ability, as long as the Lich King is on the field. You cast Blizzard on the Molten Giant, he dies instantly, but you kind of waste 4 gold of Blizzard, right? His next ability is Army of the Dead. Periodically summon an undead footman, maximum 2. Every 10 seconds, he spawns a couple of these undead footmen that are extremely beefy. And if they die in 10 seconds, he spawns another couple. Like another pair, sorry. That is the ability. These footmen are armored, and they also apply frost on hits, so if you manage to split them using the switch correctly on the map in PvP, they can apply frost on their own without Arthas. His last ability is Lichborn. On death, nearby alliance allies turn into stationary skeleton mages. Now watch the safe pilot. So safe pilot lands, boom. She's near Arthas is very close to her, and she turns into skeleton. Now the range is 12 yards. You must be within 12 yards from Arthas to turn into skeleton. If you're too far, if you're further than 12 yards, you're not gonna turn. You're just gonna die, and that's it. So 12 yards is like a death grip talent, but a little longer. Probably doesn't explain much. Now let's take a look at the talents. Talent number 1, Death Grip. Periodically pull a ranged enemy into melee range and stun them for 2 seconds. This is what it looks like. You drop Arthas, and he pulls the closest range unit. Okay, 2 seconds of stun, and the poor Moonkin dies from. Works really well versus bunches, obviously, and this guy is going to be a nightmare for Malfurions. This, like Arthas with this talent, is a hard counter for Malfurions. Talent number 2, Necrotic Plague. Soul Shatter also applies to poison enemies. So if as long as you use this talent, poisoned enemies are going to be the same as frozen enemies for a Soul Shatter, right? So 20% or below on Molten Giant, poison him, dead. And here's Arthas, alright? So don't forget to deploy Arthas, by the way. Talent number 3, Purgatory. On death, become invulnerable for 5 seconds. If the target dies, return to life with 25% health. Alright, so when you die, you're almost dead. Arthas, okay, he died, boom. Now look at him. This is like 350% zoom. You see this blue bubble Arthas is in? He is dead, and now he has 5 seconds to kill something. The first target you attack will be the target that you need to kill during 5 seconds, right? Okay, so boom, he hits this HP bar. We don't know, it's probably a raptor, so it's really hard to see. Okay, so one more hit and he will restore his, HP himself for himself. One more hit, bam, dead. And okay, but there we go. So this Prowler's HP were hiding him. So you see this? Now he has 25% HP left. And yeah, he can keep fighting. Obviously, it's not gonna proc second time. I wish it did. But that's the talent. Now, what do we take? Number one, 100% is going to be a Death Grip. But number two and three is very, like, every talent has the time to shine. I personally would go with the Necrotic Plague as a second talent. However, like Purgatory gives you like 5 seconds of tanking extra and the chance to survive, to live longer. So even if it was just 5 seconds of cheat death, it would already be a lot. Because when Arthas dies, his skeletons, like footman skeletons, they keep fighting. They don't die with him. So during those 5 seconds, you might spawn a new pair of this footman, and that's going to mean a lot. So that talent is extremely valuable as well, and we don't know. Maybe it's going to be an S tier talent during Heroes Resolve. However, I mean, it's just Heroes Resolve, right? I mean, if you don't have this talent, you can just wait until Heroes Resolve ends. It only lasts for 9 days maximum, right? However, like Necrotic Plague, for example, during Gold Rush, like Chrome told me like a few minutes ago, people will be playing Abominations. Now, Poison Abomination with this Necrotic Plague talent, I mean, it's 80% HP instead of 100, right? It's a huge deal in a competitive PvP. So these two talents are extremely valuable as well, and ideally you need all three. So, but I would go, if you still need to make a choice, I would go Death Grip, Necrotic Plague, and Purgatory. I hope it was informative. That's all.